Hey, everybody. I just want to let you know that the interview you're about to watch is impactful. It is full of writable ideas that I really want you to get a pen and paper before you sit down and press play on this, because there are so many truth bombs in this particular interview that I want you to write them down and furthermore, figure out how to apply them. And after this video, if you are inclined, I would invite you to reach out to me for a private Kickass consulting call and just talk about, without a sales pitch or anything, just how I can help you get through this time, because that's what this is about. So just reach out to me. And I apologize, we could not get his video working due to connectivity issues in India. So I apologize for that. It's on audio, but rest assured it is amazing content and I trust you to apply it. All right. Reach out afterwards. I love you guys. Enjoy the show. Peace.
Unstoppable kick-ass confidence. Are you ready?
Welcome to the Raw and Unscripted show with Christopher Rausch, where we help you overcome your self-created crap without the self-help fluffy bullshit. Now please welcome our host, Christopher Rausch.
Everybody, welcome back to another... Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Raw and Unscripted with yours truly, Christopher Rausch, the place where I help you overcome your self-created crap. And yes, indeed, it is your self-created crap. Recently, I had somebody kind of argue with that statement. They said, Chris, what do you mean by self-created crap? And I simply said, well, there's a lot of things that go on in our brains. I can't say that we create all of it, but we do actually keep minding over it. We keep mulling over it. And we keep thinking about stuff that happened 20 years ago. And then we give ideas and meanings to those things. So yeah, it is your self-created crap. What you got to do is you got to undo it. You got to unpack it and you got to get unstoppable and you got to get with no excuses. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got an exciting show for you today. I'm pleased to bring on with me in just a few minutes here, a man that I've got to know very closely. And over the period of time that I've known him for probably several years, 6-7 years, I think it is, something like that, has just become a dear friend of mine. And I'm happy to say that he's not here in the United States. I have been making friends from all over the world, as I've been sharing with you guys. And I'm proud to say he's from India. And the friendship that we've cultivated over that time, the people he's introduced me to, the people I've got to know as friends here on Facebook have been phenomenal. And I say that because some people have a closed mind of what other countries are like. And so I feel proud to know that I have somebody who is a mover and a shaker in another part of the world, who is doing the same things I'm doing, who's creating the same vibes, who is bringing the value every single day, every single conversation. He brings that to his people in his mastermind, the people he speaks to from stage, the people he coaches. He is a remarkable individual. He's got a great personal story. He's got lots of tips to be sharing with you. So I want you guys to make sure, if you don't have it, and you should have it when you're always watching the Raw and Unscripted show or listening to it, is a pen and paper, because what we try to really do is deliver valuable, tangible, actionable items that you can start working on today to change your mindset, to change the outcome of your results that you're getting. That's what this is about. This is not about any excuses. This is not about fluffy bullshit, as you heard me say in the intro. This is about really taking it seriously, especially this time in our world. I mean, at the time of this airing, we're still going through the pandemic here in April of 2020. And I got to tell you, there are going to be two people that come out of the situation as it is right now. I believe people are going to come out stronger than they were before, whether they were weak before or they're going to become stronger now. People that may have been weaker or stronger before may come out of this weaker. But I got to tell you, the point is, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm dead fucking serious with this, it is up to you to decide what you are going to do, what choices you are going to make in these days, in these hours. If you have watched more Netflix than you have ever in your entire life, but you haven't grown, you haven't watched YouTube videos, you haven't been listening to podcasts, I implore you, please start enriching your mind. Start learning things today. Get your family involved in stuff. Try to figure out what the next step is, what the new, whatever it is. Like for me, what would be the new Chris? What am I going to do? It's going to be responsible on your shoulders to make this happen. I can't do it for you. Nobody else can do it for you. What you have to do is you have to see the pain. You have to see the ultimate pain of staying the same versus changing. And we're going to talk about that today. So I'm pleased to bring on to my show the very kick-ass, Bishal Sarkar, and he is live with us from India. Well, as of this recording, he's live with us from India. And unfortunately, due to internet connectivity issues, we cannot bring him on camera. But Bishal, are you there with us today?
Yes, I am.
Good
How are you,
to
Chris?
hear your voice. I would love to see you, but
Absolutely.
good to hear your voice. What's going on, Mr. Kickass?
Oh, going good, man. Just pumped up, doing good, doing better, doing best, and sometimes even better than that.
Nice. Hey, I want to start off. I was kind of doing the lead into the show, just talking about what's going on with the pandemic at the time of this airing. Talk to us a little bit what's going on over there in India, because I don't know if people are necessarily paying attention to what's going on in other countries, but I would love to get your perspective of what's going on over there and kind of share with the world what's your perspective on all of this.
I think if you look at it, everything is always the same, and everything is always changing. What I mean by that is right now, as of the time of the recording, we have a lockdown in India. But look, there are two kinds of people always. People who panic and people who practice. So, of course, there is time when, because of the virus, you have to stay at home, you have to take better care of yourself and all that. But at the same time, people have, the tendency to panic. They are panicking about their future. Oh my God, is there a recession coming just like 2008, 2009? Is there a Great Depression coming? They are panicking, and because of the panic state, as Willie Jolly says, you're not able to make the right decision. You're not able to take any action that's gonna move you forward. And then there is the second category of people who practice. They are doing the personal practices. They're investing in coaches. They're learning, they're growing, they're listening to podcasts, they're creating, they're being the artists. They're being the victor instead of being the victim in life. And I think all of us, the people who are listening to the show, they believe in, being in that arena of the practice. And I think it's not about just in this time of coronavirus. I mean, if you look at, Chris, any time, whether it's 2018, 2017, 2025, 2035, it's all about your mindset and focus. And that's why I respect you so much, because you inspire people to have a Kickass mindset. And I work with people to create their confident life and their balanced life. It's all about where you're putting your focus on. You can look at, I think I was at a conference a couple of months ago in New Delhi in India. And I was talking to one of the speakers, and he said something that I never forget. He said, and it doesn't matter if you believe in God or a statue. He said, if you believe in God or not, it doesn't matter. If you see the rock, you'll never see the God in this. And he said, if you see the God, you'll never see the rock in that. In the same way, when it comes to life, a challenge, pandemic, epidemic, whatever demic, and any challenge, if you see the opportunity, you'll not see the panic. But if you see the panic, you'll not see the opportunity.
Beautifully said. What kind of advice do you give to people who have just naturally always seen the panic in things?
I think it's all about your social surrounding. Chris, anybody, whatever belief system you have, it's because of your social conditioning. The best way to change that is change the people that you're hanging around with right now. I mean, we have seen enough emails, we have seen Facebook ads, we have seen WhatsApp status from people who are just spreading the negativity. You have to be in good circles where people talking about opportunities, where they're not just being woo-woo positive, but they're actually talking about good shit. I was just on a call with my friend Mike Kitko, who's an ex-Marine from USA, and we were having a conversation, and we did not talk at all about virus and panic and all that. We are talking about, tell me what you're doing to improve your mindset. Tell me what you're doing right now to improve your health. Tell me what you're doing for your relationship. What about your sexuality? What about your spirituality? It's all about that growth mindset, right? So people, if there is somebody who's listening, no matter when, if you are having a panic thing, ask yourself why. Because there is one thing that's for sure, Chris. And I was having this conversation with my friend Mike. He said, we always find some way to fuck up our mindset because we fear happiness, we fear freedom. Chris, we don't fear suffering because we know how to suffer. We fear happiness, we fear light because we don't know how to be happy and how to have that light. So I encourage people to, find the environment where you are getting enough light, where their positivity tells you that how the fuck is he so positive even though he's going through so much shit, right? Somebody like you, somebody when somebody comes into your presence, they feel, oh my God, how is he so happy? How is he so kick-ass? Because you're doing the work, inside work, the inner work to feel that. So number one, hang out with the right people. Number two, garbage in, garbage out. I call it GIGO, G-I-G-O, garbage in, garbage out. What kind of audio programs are you listening to? Are you just watching the news, or are you actually creating news right now? I mean, look at Christopher. He's interviewing great people. He's creating the number one speaker in the world, Bishal Sarkar, right now. And the thing is, what he's doing right now is he's creating. So I encourage people to find the gift in the garbage. What's the gift here? And yeah, find the gift in the garbage. And I think it's time for people to actually reset. My friend Eli Wild was talking about, he said, it's not quarantine, it's a mindset resetting. It's the time for you to reset your life, reset your health. So I encourage people to get busy instead of getting lazy in the news right now.
Ooh, find your gift in the garbage. I am writing that down. I love that. One thing that I found, Bishal, is that talking to people, they'll tell me, they're like, Chris, I love your message and I love the positivity and I love how you make it seem so easy. And I'm like, you know what? It's not easy. It's a fight. It's a struggle. Some days you have to go moment to moment.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Right.
You have to go moment to moment. What do you, and I find out, and I'll ask them the question. It's such a very poignant question. And I do this in a lot of different conversations, but especially when somebody's just talking about their excuses and they're in their victimhood. And I say, do you actually believe you deserve happiness? Or I'll say it's something somewhere different. I'll say, who is the most important person in your life, including yourself? And probably 60-70% of the people will say, oh, it's my husband. Oh, it's my kids. Oh, it's my parents. Oh, it's, whoever, my sister. And I sit there and ask them, I said, what about you? Can you talk to us about the people that don't see that they should be first in their lives to be able to make the necessary changes to have that unstoppable mindset?
Yeah, I think it comes down to your self-image, because I'll tell you about India, because I work with a lot of project managers, entrepreneurs, IT professionals. They come to me to learn public speaking, then they join the Balanced Life Mastermind, which is not for everybody. And you have been a speaker at the Balanced Life Mastermind, inspiring people too. It's a small group of very elite level people who are really committed to living a great life. And one thing I see is, especially in Indian culture, taking good care of you is seen something as very selfish. And I know it's everywhere too.
Oh, yeah.
But I often hear this line from people, I put my family first. And I tell them, because you're an idiot. You got to put yourself first. It's the same analogy about the oxygen mask. If you don't take care of yourself, if I don't have $100, how can I give you $100? If I have not loved myself, if I've not taken good care of myself, if I've not, it's the basic thing. My mentor, Jeremy Eugene Wilson, when I was having a conversation with him in 2016 for the first time, and I paid him a lot of money. And the first question on the first coaching call he asked me is this: how much water are you drinking every day? I was like, I paid him so much money to ask me that question. Is it because, Bishal, you got to honor your body. You got to discipline your mind. You got to nurture your emotion. You got to serve the society. You got to expand your prosperity. And then you're going to shine your soul on fire in that specific order. So I think it's very important time for people to take better care of themselves. And it's always, all the time, because a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. If your weakest link is your health, your mindset, and you're walking like a dead fish, you can't take better care of your child. You can't provide the inspiration to your spouse. You can't lead your team in a better way. So I think it's about flooding your mind with powerful thoughts. And look, I understand that sometimes people don't take good care of themselves. They are not putting themselves first. Rome was not built in a day. So it's not going to change in a day. But if you start taking small little action, I call it an appointment with yourself. So often it's funny. Oftentimes when I, accept people inside the Balanced Life Mastermind, which is again not for everybody, but I often tell them, show me your calendar, and they show me all this, Google Calendar, this blue, box and the green box and all this, appointment with the doctor, appointment with this, and the team meeting and the dinner. And I say, where is time with you? Where is the Christopher's appointment with Christopher? It's like, and they tell me, well, my me time is when I'm walking the dog. I said, that's the dog time. So my me time is the gym time. That's the workout time. There has to be some time when you have the 3 S: solitude, stillness, and silence. Solitude, stillness, silence. And it can be as powerful as 7 to 12 minutes of you sitting down and you have 5,000 things going on in your head, but you're alone, solitude. You are still. You're not listening to any podcast, no audio, no motivational thing, and you're still and you're silent, right? Great things come from there, because at that time you really understand who you are and you remind yourself. And I want you to emphasize yourself on the word remind. Remind yourself about the power that you have, so that you remember, you become a member again of the thought that how powerful you are. And once you have that power and that confidence, guess what? You don't have stage fear in a presentation. You don't have problem when doing a sales call. If you're in sales, you don't have a problem doing a conference call. You don't have problem making a tough decision, because you're going to be powerful within. So I think self-care is not a reward. Self-care is something that has to be it's almost like a criteria. It's mandatory. Yeah, it's a mandatory thing. People see self-care as something that they are supposed to do once they're tired. It's like the drink you have after the game is over. No. It's the nutrition you have before the game starts.
So true.
Yeah.
What kind of suggestions would you have as far as daily habits that could get somebody going in that direction if they're not comfortable or they're not used to doing that?
Well, we talk, by the way, I'm giving this advice, and I think Chris very well. And I want to say one thing. I'm not perfect, right? I have things that we deal with on a daily basis. I have things that I go out of track with. But one thing I always say to people is this. A ship in the harbor is safe, but that's not what the ship is for. So some habits can be very detrimental. For example, on a regular basis, what are you doing to calm your mind? It can be meditation, it can be visualization. Journaling is a powerful habit. I teach a system called the Good Night Journal system, something that lets you sleep very peacefully and powerfully before you go to bed. And I think another thing that I'm actually recommending, I have a one-on-one coaching client. His name is Dr. Shiv Kumar. He's the managing director of the Indian Public School. So he was having a one-on-one coaching session with me few weeks ago. And he was telling me, Bishal, what can I do right now in this time of uncertainty? I'm taking good care of myself. I'm listening to the leadership audio program you sent me. What else can I do? And I told him very simple. You start calling 5 people a day from today. No text, no scheduling, directly call. It can be a staff member, it can be a relative, can be a friend. And all you do is you call them, no agenda. You don't have any agenda. You're not expecting anything from them. You call them and you say, hey, just wanted to call you and see how you're doing in this time. And you give them certainty. Powerful word. You give them certainty. You don't talk about, oh my God, this lockdown, or oh my God, this problem in the political part in the country. You don't talk about all that. You give them certainty, and you end with the call with these 2 thoughts. Number 1, you say, hey, if there is anything I can do for you, I want you to know you can count on me. And I also want you to know if there is anything I need, I can count on you, right? And they say, yeah. Say, great, awesome, thank you. And I told Dr. Shiv, imagine you make calls like this for 21 days. That's 105 people that you have touched. And guess what? After every phone call, you feel better. You feel better. Because these days, because I coach a lot of corporate professionals and entrepreneurs, people don't make calls until they need something, right? And I often tell people, if you only call people when you need something from them, it's a matter of time before they stop taking your calls. So it's about investing in the relationship, calling and reaching out, just something you do to me. Sometimes I reach out, hey, Chris, do you need anything? Via a quick message. And I think that relationship is something that can give people a lot of hope and a lot of power. So yeah, going back. So, health habits, journaling, listening to some positive, writing down your goals, visiting your purpose, and reaching out to people. And even when the times are all right, you can do the same things even then. And I think it's a matter of, and I think it's a quote from Tony Robbins, who said, there is only one thing that makes a man happy, and that's progress. What did you do in the last 24 hours to make progress in your life, in your spirituality? What did you do in the last 24 hours to make a progress in your health? And it's not just watching videos. You can watch videos of somebody running, but that doesn't mean you ran. Yep. You can watch the video of somebody doing meditation, but that doesn't mean you meditated. So I think every single day I have a habit tracker system that I teach my coaching clients and the mastermind members. But if you have 4 to 5 things that you identify and do them on a daily basis, it's going to give a lot of confidence. Yeah.
What are some of those things?
I believe confidence comes from evidence. Confidence comes from evidence. It's something I teach in the program, but I ask people all the time, do something today for which you're going to have an evidence tomorrow that you had a good yesterday. People often talk about this thing, right, Chris, that you can't change your past. Fuck wrong. You can. I'll tell you how. You change today, you make a better today, and tomorrow today's today is a yesterday, right? So you
Right.
change enough today's, and then you change the last week, a week from now. And now you have better evidence that last week I could live a powerfully. Now you have more confidence, and it's like a snowball effect. You start a small snowball, it gets bigger and bigger. So it's individual, customized thing, Chris. Depends on what are the things that people do. For me, I have seen that if I wake up, if I do my prayer in the morning, and if I take 4 liters of water every single day, and if I make enough calls, if I touch base with my friends, I have a good day. I mean, I have my practices of public speaking, I have coaching clients and all that, all those preparations and business stuff. But somewhere I've seen, if I take good care of my prayer and my physical power, everything else falls into the place for me. Now that's me. Right.
That's powerful. That's so true, though. I mean, I tell people a similar way of looking at it. I tell people, will I be happy with this decision tomorrow? So I tell people, like, if they're going to go eat something sweet, or they're going to go drink something, or they're going to go purchase something, just ask yourself from the perspective of tomorrow, am I going to be happy with this decision tomorrow? Because most of us, that's the power I teach of living in the tomorrow. Like, okay, if you could see the results of your action today, and you change it today, and you catch yourself enough times, like you just said, you start building on that confidence. You start feeling better. And like you said, in a way, you rewrite your past, because now you're just mostly focused on your future, right?
Yeah, because I think most often, Chris, what happens, I'll give you an example of public speaking. Let's say somebody fails in a presentation, right? Or gives a horrible presentation. What they do is that next time they're going to give a presentation, guess what they're thinking about? The last failed presentation. They're reviewing that movie inside their head. Oh my God, last time I failed, last time I failed, last time I failed. Maybe I'm going to fail again. So they're making a future affirmation based on the past failure. And now because of that, their confidence is going to go up or down? Absolutely down. And now they fail in the presentation one more time. They are scared, or they're not able to make that confidence connection, or maybe they forget their points in the middle of the presentation, or maybe they're speaking, but they're not able to make that impact. They forget their body language, and now their presentation ends, and they say, I told myself, I told you. They look in the mirror and say, I told you I'm going to fail. And now they're creating evidences of failure. All they have to do is remember a past good presentation, or a past time they actually went to a woman and actually spoke nicely, and the woman responded well. Because the more amount of positive evidences you flood your mind with, the more amount of positive evidences you're going to create today. And then tomorrow that builds up. And I think that's a cycle. And that's why the value of a coach is so important. Chris, here's what I believe. There are 3 levels of people that there are. One, person of misery. Yeah, person of misery. Somebody who's like self-loathing, nothing's going to happen, negativity. I mean, you can't stay with them for more than 2 minutes. Second level is mediocrity. These are people who are happy, and they go through the books, they buy a lot of audio programs, they have 500 apps on their phone, they go to the YouTube videos, they watch the guru videos, the Sadhu Baba videos, all the spiritual guru videos. They also go to some workshops, but they don't have a coach to hold them accountable. Right? Yep. So they live a life of mediocrity. And the third level is what I call the life of mastery. These people have mentors. They understand that you can't learn football just by watching football videos. You can't learn football just by going to a workshop on football. You need somebody to hold you accountable, somebody to show you the vision, to help you clarify their vision, somebody who can give you the strategies, the mindset, the skill set, the energy, the environment. And those are the people who become masters. So I believe in mentorship, and that's why I invest so highly in myself. And because of that, I don't have any problem, telling my fee. I'm not a cheap guy. It's a lot of money to get into my program, especially the Balanced Life Mastermind. It's 25 lakhs rupees to just hire me for a one-on-one consulting day for 1 day. And the reason I can do that is because when I meet people face to face, or even on a phone call, I don't bullshit. I'm not giving them theory. I'm just telling them the 5% information that's going to make 99% change in their lives. So I think that's the value of transformation versus information.
Wow. I love that. That's powerful. I'm going to go back and listen to that myself, because of course I'm always learning as well, but it's so funny because you talked about those different stages, and it's the same thing. I jumped off and I got this book.
Great book. The upper limit, right? That's what the book talks about.
And then we talks about your zone of excellence, Your zone of genius. And I thought for me, I actually bought that book on an audio, and I listened to it 3 or 4 times. I bought the book so I could study it. And it's just like, it's so amazing because when I look back on my life, my 26-year career as a director of operations, that was my zone of excellence. I'm an excellent leader. I love leading, love tying people together, love working for the corporation. But it was my zone of genius. My genius is that I could sit here in front of a camera for 10 hours and talk to people, and make sure that they're motivated and they're inspired. And I can go on Facebook and type them. And people say, how do you do that? I'm like, that's my gift. And that's why I always encourage people to find what their natural gifts are. What do you say to that, Bishal, if people don't know what their gifts are, if they're constantly struggling to figure out what it is that they can do for 10 hours a day?
You need a guide, not Google. Guide versus Google. Most people go to Google and type how to find my purpose. How does Google fucking know about your purpose? Not at all, right? You need somebody who can walk you through. So, for example, in one of the exercises, I think you do that too for your clients, is one of the things I do inside the Balanced Life Mastermind is I walk people through a template to find their purpose and find their gifts. And sometimes if you don't know, a quick thing to do is go to people and ask people, and it should not be your spouse because they're too close to you. Their opinion is going to be biased. So you go to people who really care for you, but who don't have any specific direct attachment toward your growth.
Actually, Bishal, I want to interrupt you for just a second because you just said something really magnificent. You said, don't listen to your spouse. And I just want to interrupt that before I forget it. Either way, whether your spouse thinks you're awesome at everything you do or your spouse has zero support for you, do not listen to them either way. Just do what you need to do. I just want to make sure I clarify that because that's such a powerful statement. And so many people are like, oh, well, my spouse doesn't think I could do that. Well, fuck your spouse. I'm sorry. Your spouse isn't the fucking perfect person in the world. Don't have all their shit together. And if it makes sense to you and you want to do it, then do it. And if they don't like it, then get the fuck out. Ooh, greatness. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I just want to make sure that
no, this is all good.
That everybody heard that because like, oh, well, my best friend thinks that's a stupid idea. Well, maybe your best friend isn't fucking smart. I tell it to people, they're like, they just sit there and they go, they're like, what makes your friend smart? What makes your friend the best person to decide what your future is? Well, they have a job and they got a good relationship and, they seem pretty happy. That's an assumption. You're making an assumption about somebody's happiness and you're taking life fucking decisions about somebody you know for what, 2 years, 12 years, 10 years, 20 years. Listen to your heart, people. That's what's going to get you through. Sorry.
And they don't have any bad intention. Their intention is pure probably to help you because they don't want you to see you. They don't want to see you in hurt. They don't want to harm you. They want you to be safe, right?
They also but at the same successful because it leaves them behind and it makes them feel like shit.
True. At times, your success can be a threat to them. But at the same time, I think, I'll give an example. What most people know about me is that I'm a professional speaker. I'm the highest paid speaker in India, in the entire country. But what most people don't know about me, Chris, is that's not how I was born. Many people think I was born in a poor family. No. I was born in a rich family. No. I was born in a family that's worse than poor. I was born in middle-class family. Middle class is worse than poverty. Anything big is fine. Anything small is fine. It's the middle that fucks everybody up, right? So I was born in a middle-class family. So growing up, I had some dreams. I found pretty early about my purpose in life that I wanted to, do something with communication, but I was a terrible communicator. I had a stutter. I had low self-image. I studied in a Bengali medium government school. So growing up, when I shared my dreams with other people, they couldn't see the vision because, you showed the book, The Big Leap. Mm-hmm. They had their upper limit. They couldn't see me anything bigger than their social conditioning. But that's when I started having mentors and coaches who were way ahead of me, somebody who has seen way far ahead in the game about the industry, about life. And I started going to different people who not only were successful and popular, but somebody who had depth. And I think that's a mistake many people do, Chris. Sometimes we go to these people who are just running Facebook ads and all that. We go to them because they have 25,000 likes and I have likes and subscribers and all that. And thousands of people follow me, but you go to somebody you feel connected with instead of feeling just because you're going to them because of their popularity. Because those are the people who are going to tell you the truth that hurts instead of telling you a lie that makes you feel good in the moment. So going back to the gift thing, you go to people who have found their gift and, be willing to submit. See, here is the thing. I don't know about anybody's religious belief. You can read the Bible. I read the Bhagavad Gita. But Bhagavad Gita is not a religious book. It's a spiritual and management manual. But even though I can mug up the 700 and whatever verses and the slokas, But even if what's better than that, Chris, is to actually take 5 slokas or 5 verses and apply them and integrate in your life, right? It's the integration. It's the integration. Amen. So it's the integration that actually changes everything for you. So, I know people who can just mug up and just recite the slokas from Bhagavad Gita, and they abuse in a temple or in a church. I don't see that connection. And I'm not talking about using F words. I'm talking about them abusing, the cab driver because they're charging a little bit more, because they don't integrate that thing. So for me, that integration is very important. So when you see somebody who has that alignment, that integration, somebody who's living their gift, you go to them and surrender your ego. I have a big ego sometimes because I'm an arrogant guy at times. And that's why when I went to my mentor, I had to surrender my ego and say, tell me what I need to learn, not what I want to learn. And he taught me about social conditioning and how I can be a sovereign individual. He taught me the habits. He told me not to read the general books. He taught me to read the books that give me the intent, not just the content. He told me read books that are not just thick, but books that are depth, book that have depth. And I started going through that, and I started achieving my own transformation. So often people have, Chris, microwave mentality. They want the transformation in the next 30 seconds, 3 minutes. And you see ads like that: become a millionaire speaker in 1 day, or achieve this in 30 seconds, or whatever. This is a process. And I tell people all the time, when you follow the process, you're going to see the progress, because Rome was not built in a day, and it's time for you to show up in a powerful way. So that's what I feel, that people have to go to, surround yourself with the right people, have a coach, have a mentor to find your gift. And once somebody tells you what your gift is, apply. Don't just keep it, say, hey, yeah, I got it. What else? What's advanced? Now it's something new. If you read the book, The Slight Edge, I don't know if you have read the book. Yeah, it talks about the 3 levels of life. The Slight Edge.
Okay.
Yeah. So the author actually has a different coaching program I was a part of, and he talks about 3 levels of life: suicidal, satisfactory, and successful. And he says that if you do some basic stuff every day, you will move from suicidal to satisfactory. And then he says that many people think that to move from satisfactory to successful, you have to do something different. He said, no fucking way. If you do the same exact basic stuff every day for years, you are going to move from the satisfactory to the successful. Most people don't have that patience. They don't have the patience. They give up too soon. They want something new tricks, new accountability, new app, new coach, new mentor, new training. And then, oh my God, why doesn't my life change? The same problems they had in 2018 are the same problem they had in 2019. And the same problem they still have in 2020, because is the calendar dates change, but the problems still arise because they're not having the new problems, because they're not upgrading themselves. I think it's time for people to let go. Let go of the old problems and embrace some new ones.
Never heard you sing.
Yeah, I'm a good one.
Sing a little bit more.
No. I'll tell you a poem toward the end of the call. But yeah, I love the Let It Go song.
Damn, you have a good voice. I was like, holy shit, check him out.
Yes.
I'll sing Elvis if you sing Air Supply.
I listen to a lot of
I'm so lost without you. See, I can't sing.
I listen to a lot of, in the end, the Linkin Park songs. In the end, it doesn't even matter. Yeah.
Ooh, serenading on the Raw and Unscripted show. Oh man. Hey, so something I've been dealing with some people recently. Yeah. Something that's common. And by the way, you're dropping some serious truth bombs. I usually write notes, but I've written a page of notes. So thank you, because I love the fact that you just said when you follow the process, you find your progress, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you do as people are developing their confidence? And I found that some people will think that they have confidence, but they have arrogance. So they think that they get misunderstood from assertiveness to aggressiveness. Talk to us about how we can take somebody who is perhaps arrogant and falsely confident, or somebody who doesn't have confidence and faces rejection. How can either one of those people just get to true confidence? What does that feel like? What does that look like? I've described it to people, but I'm interested in seeing what your take on that is when you really have confidence.
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. And what my answer is going to be, look, Chris, you know that it goes without saying for you, but for the audience, my trainings are built from real world, in the trenches, real business battlefield experience. I don't teach anything from books. I'm teaching from real life experience. And one thing I see all the time is people have this nervousness before presentation, or the nervousness about being themselves, and they have, deplorable, they live in a deplorable condition in their mindset, in their spirituality, or in their financial life as well, because they are not agile. They are reticent. They don't know how to show up for themselves. And I was just having a conversation. I was just doing the Confident Speaker live workshop a couple of months ago, and people ask me this question. And this is a program that has a lot of leadership people, vice presidents and all that. And this is the only program where I open some spots for the Balanced Life Mastermind too. And people ask me, Bishal, how do I overcome this nervousness that I have? Or how do I go from low confidence to real confidence level? And I give them this simple formula, and I want to give the same thing to your audience. FOTA, F-O-T-A. Focus on the audience, not on yourself. FOTA, focus on the audience. Most often when people have this nervousness, or they don't have too much confidence about themselves, it comes from too much of self-consciousness. And self-awareness is very good, but not too self-consciousness. They're thinking about their teeth, how am I looking and all that. But when you come from a place of service, because I often tell people all the time, it's hard, truth bomb coming, it's hard to be nervous when your heart is on service. It's hard to be nervous when your heart is on service. So you got to serve people. I think oftentimes, and about the arrogant stuff, sometimes people do come across as arrogant, even they are not. Oftentimes, it's just a matter of connection. And I think it comes down to the personality type as well. If you know the DISC personality, DISC, many people who are in the D personality, for example, I'm a mixture of D and I. They come across, because they speak fast, they are result oriented, driven, they come across as arrogant. But I think it's about your personality. Yeah. I remember Michael Burt once told me, insecure people find confident people arrogant.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that's a great one. Insecure people find confident people arrogant.
Yeah.
Damn, I love that.
Shakalaka bomb today, not boom boom.
Shaka pow pow. Unstoppable. Kickass.
Yes.
Raw and unscripted shit right here. Ooh.
Absolutely.
Nice. Damn, I was all caught up in that and forgot what my next question was going to be.
Yeah. So just a little piggybacking on the last point. So it's many people think, while you gather the next question, many people think that I just have to practice. I think practice is good, Chris, but I often tell people, what if you're practicing the wrong stuff? In that case, you're getting better in the wrong direction. You're getting better in the wrong direction. So I tell people, find the right methods. It's not about randomly practicing anything. It's about doing the right thing. If you're doing the exercise in the wrong way, you're going to fuck up your body. Discipline. Same way, if you're doing the right discipline, at the same time, the discipline has to be right. And look, I know this. If only random information could make people successful, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy. So you need the right information. That's why people need coaches. People need personal trainers. If anybody could be, it's not just the information. Otherwise, I can find all the fitness information from Google or from book. But when I have a personal trainer telling me, go man, one more push-up. Come on. Don't do it this way. Don't make this space. Make a little bit more space. Don't do this. Hold on. Wait for 30 seconds before you go for the next exercise. That's called the right direction. It's the slight edge. When you make small edges, small shifts over a period of time, you become unrecognizable. Because that's when people say, oh my God, who is he? Because that's when people say, I don't know who he is, but he's a somebody. I don't know what he does, but he does something. I don't know what his name is, but I want to make sure he knows my name. And that's when you keep, come hell or high water, you practice for sure, but you need the right people. I can't stress this point enough. You need the right people around you. Because sometimes people think, I'll do that later on. No, you need the right people to be alive and kicking, to make sure that you don't feel remorseful, later on. Most people feel remorseful because they realize they wasted a lot of time just trying instead of training. And that's another question I want to ask people. How much time are you spending trying instead of training? Stop trying, start training.
Ooh, I love that. I remember what my question was. Thank you. I get caught up in catchy words, and my brain just goes ooh ooh, and I have to see it, and then also my brain goes, "Hey, what was that question? What was that question?" But we've kind of danced around it a little bit in talking about self-confidence, talking about arrogance versus confidence and things of that nature. When people come to me, they're like, I'm afraid of X. And I usually can deduce it down to the fear of judgment. Like when you talk about being a professional speaker, I get people all the time. I haven't spoke on stage since 2016, which is kind of freaky. I was speaking every single year, like 4 or 5 times a year. And I've not spoke due to my son, Jackson, just for transparency reasons. I had to give up something. So that was one of them, that. But when people are like, you make it look so easy. And I'm like, well, number one, it's a lot easier for me now because before I was so worried about what people were going to say about me, what I was dressed like, how I was looking, because it felt inauthentic. I felt incongruent getting up there as a suit and tie speaker. Yeah. And then add to that, then all of a sudden I became Kickass and I started wearing this stuff and like just being me. That was another thing. I stopped caring so much about other people, but then I was still worried about like, okay, what are they thinking about this guy with a bandana? Do they think he's going to, start dropping F-bombs? And I wouldn't. But then the masterpiece of it all was getting in touch with Glenn Morshower and learning how to just speak from the heart, just to speak from flow. Talk to us a little bit about that in a sense of overcoming our fear of rejection, our fear of judgment, also just getting into flow. I mean, I think we talked about, like you just said, I have an analogy that's similar to what you just said. It's like you could be climbing and making progress, but if your ladder is against the wrong building, AKA you're climbing for the wrong thing, then guess what? When you get to the top, you're going to look around and go, wow. And when I did that, when I became, started getting in leadership and started becoming a director, and I was like, okay, I want to become the president of the company. And I started getting taller and taller. I was taking the leadership courses and I was like, yay. And I got to the top and I was like, do I really want to do that? Do I really want all that stress? Do I really want, is that what? And I'm like, no. And I just went down the ladder, took my ladder, went over here. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go up that side of the building. Talk to us a little bit about that from your perspective and your training.
I think speaking from a flow comes from knowing that you can handle any situation. It's a level of confidence. Many people think that they have to prepare a lot. So, they prepare writing, they write their speeches. It's a wrong way to go about it. And some people are very good at spontaneous speaking, people like you and me, and we can do that. I think the sweet spot is where you have preparation, but at the same time, spontaneity. In order for you to smash your goals as a speaker, whether you are a professional speaker or you're a project manager, CEO, vice president, IT professional, finance guy, HR, whatever in the office, you got to understand that you should have a structure in your mind, but your speech should not, or presentation should not sound scripted. It should sound spontaneous. People don't want presentation delivered by an expert. They want a conversation with a friend from the stage. Right. So because we detest formal presentation. I've heard so many speakers who come on stage or in the office, in the meeting room. Sometimes when I have to provide feedback and coaching, I go to client's office to just see. They sound so formal, man. They're like all cool until the meeting room. Right. So until 2:30 p.m., they're all cool. They're laughing, they're smiling, they're sharing the food. They are all fine. But when the 2:30 meeting happens, they don't smile. They've become this formal version of themselves. And everybody loathes that. Nobody likes that. Now, the only way to enhance and refine that is to ask yourself why, it's about challenging the belief system. I believe one thing, Chris, you can't put a new system until you erase the existing one that's actually running right now. It's like the CD thing. If there is a song playing, you can't put another CD drive into that. You have to take the existing one out and make space for a new one. So I often work with people and I find, why they become this robotic version of themselves, or where did they learn this rejection stuff in the first place? Oftentimes, not to my surprise, but oftentimes I find is it comes from their relationship with their father. Especially I'm talking to men right now. It's their relationship with their father that they had, because most times, especially in Indian culture and anywhere else, actually, the father figure is very dominant, very, criticizing. So we live with this hope of getting this seal of approval from the father. And then we do everything in our power to impress that person who never becomes impressed. And then we follow everything to a T, but more than expected. We do everything off the charts and we are still not happy because we have become an approval seeking machine. Approval seeking machine. And that's why before buying something, that I always wanted to buy, I feel, what will that person think? What will my wife think? What will my father think? What will my child think? So they forget themselves. And I think that's where the rejection thing comes up. So when you look at your overall life, Chris, talking to the all the audience members, when you look at your life and understand, not just in your business, not just in your speaking, not just in your career, but where else are you seeking approval? When you let it go, you're gonna feel that power all the time. You're not begging for the audience's approval anymore. You're not begging for their appreciation anymore, because you are geared to lead them. I tell people all the time, you never put your audience on a pedestal. Why? Here is why. Because when you put somebody on a pedestal, the only way for them to look at you is by looking down. So
Amen. I love that.
Yeah, you don't put anybody on a pedestal in your mind. You're going to serve. And I tell people all the time, have an affirmation, maybe before a presentation, stretch a bit. And we teach an entire system and formula inside our program in the Balanced Life Mastermind to really make them unstoppably confident, to have a battle-proof mindset, because it's so important. And mindset is not just about positive thinking. It's your psychology. It's your way of thinking. I don't believe in positive thinking. I believe in powerful thinking. I believe in productive thinking. When my house is on fire, I don't need positive thinking. I need powerful thinking. I need to get my ass out with my laptop and my phone and my family members. Not in that specific order.
In that order, ladies and gentlemen. That was in that order. That's you.
Yeah.
Family. That's you. You're gonna burn.
Glad my family members are not on this podcast right now. But you see what I'm saying? So you can have powerful thinking. So before a presentation, have an affirmation. Tell yourself, I believe in myself. I'm going to give a great presentation. Because when you change your mindset game, when you change the game inside your ear, inside your head, between your ears, people can see that. They're going to see a new version of you, and they're going to say, man, what happened to him? What drugs is he on? Because he's actually a changed version. And it is absolutely possible. It is possible over time, but not overnight. So yeah, absolutely. So the same thing, you don't want a life of misery or mediocrity. You want a life of mastery. Do what masters do. Keep learning, keep growing. You were telling me the other day about your conversation with Glenn Morshower, who's a Hollywood actor, right? And this guy is still learning, right? That's why he's humble enough to listen to the other people on the show. I mean, if you just see anybody, even people like you go to people, different masterminds and coaches. I have coaches on my own, because we understand. I'm smart enough to know I'm not the smartest guy. I'm smart enough to know that I'm not the smartest guy. That's why I'm developing. And I see people, just because they have a lot of age, or because they're aging, or just because they have 12, 13, 15, 25 years of experience, they think they know it all. I often tell people, change happens when your pain becomes bigger than your ego. Change happens when your pain becomes bigger than your ego. Most people, they have big ego. They have good pain, but bigger ego. That's why change never happens. They are same at the age of 35. They are same at the age of 45. And they die with regrets and remorse and pain that they cannot do Control-Z on a laptop.
Yes, that is so true. I mean, that's the whole thing I teach, is about finding that pain. When you have enough pain, then you have enough pressure. I mean, Tony Robbins says that so eloquently in Waking a Giant Within. That was one of the
power.
When I read that book, and it was like, that's what made me. And I started the show off, and I talked to you guys out there about, this is your self-created crap. When I read Awaken the Giant Within, it was like, pain versus pleasure. You do things for either reason, to avoid pain and to gain pleasure. One thing I want to respect
more for avoiding pain than the pleasure.
Yeah.
Because the power of the pain is bigger than the, getting the pleasure. The example I give is, what would you have? Which opportunity would you like? Earning $5,000 or to stop somebody from stealing $5,000 from you?
And so
right?
that's important perspective too. We're talking about perspective shifts. One thing I want to pick your mind, because I want to be respectful, just for the viewers out there, listeners out there. It is like midnight or later over there. What time is it over there?
Cool, man. It's 3 a.m. right now, but I wanted to jump on this call. Oftentimes I have coaching calls and all that from outside India. So totally cool, man. I can stay for a few minutes more. No problem at all. Good.
What I want to do is, you may have heard me start off the show talking about, this is going to be a time for people to be resourceful. This is going to be a time for people to step up and become leaders and become resourceful and become ingenuitive and think of different things. talk to us and give us your insight on how people who have not been in a position of leadership before, either within their family or within their position, can now start to find somehow either a leadership position within their family or a co-leadership position within their family to really take this time to become an entrepreneur. Because I think I'm almost certain that this is going to become what I think they've coined right now, the gig economy. Like for me, I'll do coaching, I'll do speaking, I'll do consulting. I may fucking drive for Uber. I don't know what I'm going to do. There's going to be certain gigs that we're all going to have to do. So I really want to impress upon the people watching this and listening to this that, you know, when you think about all the technology, you think about all the stuff that has been created, you know, you think about the microwave, you think about all the different stuff, the Generation Z that's coming up, the latest generation, they don't even know what a fucking library is. They don't even know what a dial phone is. They don't even know those things. But for the people that are stuck in the old mindset, what recommendations do you have for them to get resourceful, to become an entrepreneur, to dig deep and to create their own service or their own product to get them out of this situation and get them started today?
I think first of all, people have to understand what entrepreneurship is all about. It's not about opening some website. It's not about just going Facebook Live. It's not about just saying that I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, I'm a millionaire, this, that. Understand this definition that I heard many years from T. Avrekar. He said, an entrepreneur is somebody who solves a problem for people at a profit. 3 P's. Solve a problem for people at a profit. If you don't solve a problem, you're not an entrepreneur. If you don't solve a problem for people, you're not an entrepreneur. And if you don't solve a problem for people for profit, you're still not an entrepreneur. So most people only think about the profit in the beginning. They don't think about actually the problem that they're going to solve. So if somebody wants to be an entrepreneur, that's an awesome thing. Take a piece of paper or go to a mentor and ask yourself, what problems am I eligible to solve? I love this answer or this question that David Avrin, author of the book Visibility Marketing, and your friend, asked me once. He said, what topics have you earned the right to talk about from stage? Earn the right, not something that you have read in a book about. Earn the right. I don't talk about health. I don't talk about waking up early. I'm good in those areas, but I'm not an expert. I talk about things that I'm living. Like I said, it's not about speaking from the books. So look at your life. Somebody, if they want to be an entrepreneur at the age of 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, doesn't matter. When ask yourself, what problems can you solve, and who has those problems, and how do you reach them, and how do you present your proposal in a way that they say yes. I'm going to give 4-step simple formula right now for people to really do that. And it's the same in general presentations that I teach people as well. Very simple formula. First of all, you customize to connect. Number 1, customize to connect, meaning you customize how you talk about your problems. My friend Dove Gordon talks about that people pay attention to 2 things. Number 1, a problem they have and don't want, and a result they want and don't have. So in your communication, talk about a problem or talk about a result. So that's how you customize to connect. Number 2, you organize to open minds. It's not about just blabbering. You have to organize your content in the right way. So if you're talking on a Facebook Live or face-to-face or Zoom calls or phone calls or blog articles, or when the things become right, you're meeting face-to-face, you gotta organize to open minds. You don't talk just to the left brain, but also the right brain. We can go on and on about this, but you have to use humor, personal story, credibility to open mind. Number 3, you personalize to persuade. How can you personalize the entire content to make sure that you are creating a persuasion? So we spoke about organize to connect, customize to connect, organize to open mind, personalize to persuade, and then picturize to penetrate. You create powerful pictures in the minds of the audience, not just visual pictures, but the words. You use words in such a manner that people can visualize what's going to happen in their life if they don't take action right now. And it's all about WIIFM. What's in it for me? Tell people what you can do for them, how they can get benefit from that, and what it costs them not to get it. I often talk about it, ROI versus COI. Everybody talks about ROI. This is your return on investment. Talk about the COI, cost of inaction. Cost of inaction. Right. Don't just talk about if you do this, this is the benefit. Talk about if you don't do this, this is where you're going to fuck up 1 month from now, 2 months from now, 10 years from now. That's how you become a great entrepreneur. Because Chris, I was not born as a great entrepreneur. I was not born as an entrepreneur. Nobody in my family was an entrepreneur ever. Right. So I had to learn the skills to be a speaker, to be a coach, and now Fortune 500 companies. I've been invited by Microsoft, Cisco, Nokia, different companies to really consult and speak and train, and even the top level CEOs, in any top level CEO in India right now, they come to my program, the top level politicians, doctor, lawyers, and general IT professionals. I did not have the skills. I had to develop that. I was made fun of in my school. I was bullied in my school, not by students, but by a teacher for years and years and years.
Wow.
Right? He used to call me names, he used to call me son of a bitch. It all happened in my school days. So you can imagine the level of low self-esteem I had. And if I can go from there till here, and if I'm still moving forward, still believing in myself, anybody can do that. If you have the right people around you, if you have the right vision, the strategy, the skills, the mindset, and the energy, anything is possible. So yeah, absolutely. Solve people's problem for a profit.
Ooh, I love that. I took that down. Cost of inaction versus ROI. I love that. COI. I wrote down your customized to connect, organized to open minds, personalized to persuade, and picturized to penetrate. So I've been taking notes, ladies and gentlemen, because I absorb this stuff. I mean, this is one of the gifts that I get from interviewing these people is I get to feel it right here. It's like pumped into my brain, all this awesome fucking kick-ass shit. And it's coming to you guys for free. All you have to do is take action. That's what we keep talking about in this program, is taking action. You can listen and you can get shelf help and you can get all that other shit. I can't count. I mean, me personally, talk about being authentic. I can't count how many different programs I've gone to and been so excited. And even, to the point where I would go over the weekend and I would go back to my day job on Monday. And then by Wednesday, I was like, okay, by next weekend, I'm going to do these things. But then by Wednesday, I was like, it started fading away. And then I started doing some research and I found out that within 3 days of learning something, if you don't start to apply it, and better yet, start to teach it to somebody else, if you don't do that, it's going to go away. You remember like 20% of it, if that. I mean, it's ridiculous. But one of my last questions for you, sir, and because you've been dropping massive dope information here, is what is going to be your legacy? What is keeping you unstoppable? And what is your biggest fear?
My legacy,
unstoppable and fear.
My legacy is, my whole lifetime goal is to impact 100 crore people in my lifetime before I die positively, to live with more confidence, more power, more clarity, to connect with people in a better way. That's my mission in life, in my lifetime. And I believe in biohacking. I believe, Christopher, I'm going to be living for 150 years. That's my goal in my lifetime, right? Because I remember Robin once told me, Robin Sharma, he said that if you want to impact, don't die. Don't die. Right? Because if you die, your legacy, right? So you die. So I want to live. That's why I'm taking better care of myself. About my fear, absolutely. Sometimes one of my fear, I'll tell you, no bullshit. My biggest fear is actually dying with a lot of things undone. And it might probably happen, but I want those undone things to be minute and small, impactful. And that's why every single day I wake up, I have this hunger. Even though we do financially good, well, I don't really have to work to really do that anymore. But for me, it's not about money anymore. I remember Gary Vaynerchuk once talked about it. He said, once you make enough money, it's not about how much you make, it's about how you make that money. Right. Yes. So for me right now, when I see the Balanced Life Mastermind members who win bigger and they, have this, they get a promotion, they're making more money, but or they are having more intimacy in their relationship. They're actually more closer to the children. They're actually having more family time. They're starting something new. Dude, I'll tell you, it lights me up. It's the same feeling I get when I go for a run and I have this endorphin rush and the serotonin and all that in my body. I love that. And I think people have to choose. I think most people are confused. And I often tell people, if you confuse, you lose. But when you clarify, your life will multiply. Ooh. If you confuse, you lose. But when you clarify, your results and life will multiply. And what I mean by multiplication is, I know my fear. I'm very clear about that. And every single day I think about it, that I should not live or I should not end my life with an unlived life. That's why I play full out every single day. And honestly, it's not all sunshine and rainbow every day. Sometimes I have my bad days and tough days. And I think you remember, I have total transparency about it. Last year, I was going through a very tough phase in my life. And I had a call with you, if you remember. I texted you, hey, I'm having a bad phase in my life. Can you speak with me? Because I feel A bold man does not hesitate in reaching out.
Yes.
A pussycat does, right? A bold man does not fear in reaching out for help. That's why I have mentors. I have friends like you who I reach out to and say, hey, help me with this. But I know one thing, if somebody gives me 1 inch, I will run a mile with that, because I'm an action taker. I don't fuck around.
Yep.
So for me, that legacy is one thing. And I think another thing for me, the legacy is anybody who follows my journey is going to say one thing: this fucker was consistent. He was a consistent guy, consistently putting out content, writing every single day. People who are in my email list, I send 2 emails every single day. I put content on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere else you see. And I don't spend a single rupee on ads. All the people and clients, they find about me organically, they find about me, they refer and all that. It's because I'm putting things on a daily basis, on a consistent basis, because I believe consistency creates mastery. And I'm on that journey. That's why I have people around me who inspire me. And Chris, if you allow me, I wanna end, because we are just coming to the close, with a quick poem.
Yeah. Bring it.
Called The Man in the Glass. You can Google it, from Peter Dale Wimbrow Sr. Very simple. It inspired me a lot. So I want to just give it in my last final words. So here is how it goes. The man in the glass. When you get what you want in your struggle for self, and the world makes you king for a day, just go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what the man has to say. Because it's not your father, your mother, or wife whose judgment upon you must pass. The fellow whose verdict counts the most in your life is the one staring back from the glass. He is the fellow to please, never mind all the rest, for he is with you clear to the end. And you have passed your most difficult, dangerous test if the man in your glass is your friend. And last paragraph, you may fool the whole world. This is my favorite. You may fool the whole world down the pathway of years and get pats on the back as you pass. But your final reward will be the heartache and tears if you have cheated the man in the glass. Don't cheat the man in the glass. Make that person proud, and you are going to be living your confident life and your balanced life now.
Damn. Ooh, that gave me chills. I love that. I thought it was going to, basically what it does is it talks about the same thing I talk about, which is regrets. It's like, you have to, I have a coaching call tonight with somebody tonight. And one of the things that inspired her was the fact that I talk about that. She goes, I don't want any regrets. I'm like, I don't think anybody does. I think that's exactly what you're saying. So I think that has to become the pain, the leverage for us to continue moving on. And I just want to say thank you, Bishal, because the knowledge that you've shared today, the insight that you've shared today, the authenticity you've shared today is tremendous. And I really just want you guys out there to really figure out how this applies to you.
Yeah.
How does this apply to you? How are you going to take action on these particular truth bombs that he has dropped? I have taken notes to myself. Now I'll take these notes and I'll put them in my journal, and I'll say, how can I apply that to myself? How can I share this with myself? I'll make sure that I share it out, because as I share it out, I can sit there and say, quote, Bishal Sarkar, blah, blah, blah. Here's what he says. And the more I do it, the more it becomes ingrained in myself, and the more it becomes a reminder to myself, because Bishal is one of my mentors in my life. One of the people that I look to when I'm struggling, and when I'm like, and he'll be the first person to say, hey, Chris, you're slacking off. What are you doing here? What are you doing there? You guys need to have these people in your life. If your best friend, if you go up to your best friend and you're wearing fat jeans, and you're sitting there and you look at your best friend like, how do these jeans look? And your best friend goes, oh, they look good on you, girl. And they don't, then you need a new best friend. You need a new best friend. You need accountability partners. People are saying right now, like, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I'm going to be dead serious with you guys. You can't afford not to necessarily, because once the economy starts going back up, they've been talking about how coaching is going to be one of the deciding factors in whether people are going to be successful in their jobs and their lives or not. You think about pro football players, you think about pro sports players, you think about, like Bishal had said, having personal trainers, things of that nature. Yeah. Somebody needs to sit there and hold you accountable each and every moment to make sure that you take those action steps, to make sure that you're accountable. Yeah. I personally still have to have my coaches every once in a while. I go through fits and spits where I have when I don't. But I can tell you, when I did 75 hard last year, that was my obligation to myself that year. I had a coach last year. I had 2 coaches last year, and I had, then I did 75 hard. So I'm constantly pushing myself, and I'm like, okay, I got to do this for myself. And I got a buddy of mine who's doing it now because he told me I was fucking crazy. And now he's on day 41, something like that. Yeah, you know who you are. Doing a phenomenal job, because once you believe in yourself, once you put one foot in front of the other, they'd say, how do you get through 75 days? I'm like, once you get to day 22, it's like, okay, I'm going to get to day 23. I'm going to get to day 24. Any way we look at it, guys, we're going to live our life. And hopefully we're going to live it in a state of excellence and not a state of misery and complacency and regret. But the only person that can do that for you guys is, like Bishal said in his poem, look at the mirror. That's your accountability. Look in the mirror. Say, is this getting me further or further away from my stated goal? If you have a stated goal and you're about to do something, just ask yourself that question. Is this getting me closer to or further from my stated goal? And then stop yourself and be accountable. And just don't just say, well, it's today, I'm having a cheat day, or I'm having a moment, or blah. Just stop and don't do it. I can't tell you guys how many different things in my life where I've quit smoking or I quit drinking or quit whatever. And I've had to just say, okay, I just have to make it through this moment. I just have to make it through this moment. I just have to make it through this moment. I have to make it through this hour. I have to make it through this day. I have to make it through this week. And then the sun starts to shine and you start to go, fuck, I am unstoppable. Dude, I have it. Because each and every one of you guys out there has it. I don't care what anybody has said. I don't care what anything is done. I don't care all the shit you've done. Today is a brand new day. And when you put your big girl pants on, or your big boy pants on, whatever the fuck you wear, if you wear a dress of a boy, go for it. Or if you wear pants for a girl, I like that. It's good. Jeans. But anyways, if you don't accept responsibility for the facts and the thoughts that go through your mind and the outcomes that you're going to get, then who is? Then you're just going to be sitting there 90 years old, 80 years old. And Bishal brought up a great point also. We're going to be living longer. You know, I sat there and had a conversation with myself when I turned 50, which was last year. And I'm like, damn, you know, average life expectancy is 78. I got 28 years. Oh my God, you know, time's running out. And I started thinking about, I'm like, technological advances, medical advances. I mean, they're making advances so fast now that maybe in 10 years, you're going to live until you're 90. And maybe in 10 years after that, you're going to live until you're 120. And 10 years after that, you're going to live until you're 160. Hopefully, obviously in great health and great nutrients and everything. But just think of what it is that your life can become. You could just barely be getting started. No matter where you're at in your life, you could just be barely getting started. So please take the information that myself and Bishal have so graciously shared with you guys today. Take action on them. Reach out to us. Bishal, what is your contact information before we let the show go? Where can people get a hold of you?
They can just Google my name and find more. I don't want to send people to any specific page here, you know, because dude, if what you have heard so far you've enjoyed, you know, find more about me and you know, they can go to my site, bishalsarkar.com, but I don't want them to go to any website of mine, to be honest, Chris. Today, I want people to fuck going through this, you know, different sites and all that. I want them to take some fucking action if they want to respect us, right? And you know, just final thought. You spoke about the friend going to a friend and talking, hey, how am I looking? And they're lying. One thing I always tell people is this: if your friend circle is not inspiring you to change, it's not a friend circle, it's a suicide spot. It's a suicide spot that you're living in right now. You need the right people. And that's why you got to be very careful. You got to be selective about the people that you hang out with. You got to be selective about the friends. And that's why, Chris, you know, very selective about the people that I allow to join the Balanced Life Mastermind. It's not for everybody. You know, some people come with a big check and say, hey, can I just write you a check? No, it's not going to happen that way. I have to select you. You're not buying pizza. You're buying my time. You're buying my experience. I'm giving my decades of knowledge and experience and turning your life around. And I think that's why you need the right people around you. And final thought is, if you really, want to discover your big life, if you really envision a bigger life, if you want to, take a leap of faith toward enhancing your mindset, your skill set, your financial life, your capability, I think it's time for you to take a vow today. Take a vow today that it's time for you to stop fucking around. It's time for you to stop just going through content after content and take action. Hire a mentor. Get serious. Double down on yourself. Invest in yourself. Because if you don't invest in yourself, you're wasting yourself. And when you invest in yourself, you're going to find more confidence in yourself. You're going to honor your body, discipline your mind, nurture your emotions, expand your prosperity, serve the society, and people are going to see that you're going to shine. You're going to be shining your soul on fire, and your next generation is going to be proud of that. Your current generation is going to be proud of that, and that's going to be your fucking legacy. Don't focus just on currency. Focus on leaving a legacy. Mic drop.
Bam. Mic drop. Boom. Mic. Look. I got my mic drop here. Bam. Look at that mic drop. Bam. Damn, my guns used to be bigger. Damn it. Anyways, all right, this is the Raw and Unscripted show with Christopher Rausch and our special guest today, Bishal Sarkar from India at 3 o'clock in the morning. Bishal, thank you so much, brother, for being here. You are a fucking rock star. You're kick-ass. You're unstoppable. I love you with all my heart, and I cannot wait. I know this is going to happen. One day we're sharing a stage. One day we're at the same event. We're going to connecting in human. Yes, most definitely. We just got to get through this shitty time in our life, this eventful time in our life. And I just want to say thank you, brother, for everything. And for you guys out there, make sure you are going to ChristopherRausch.com. ChristopherRausch. ChristopherRausch.com. I love you guys. If you're interested, call me. I want to talk to you. If you're having troubles, if you're down, this is not a coaching plea. This is not anything. It's not a sales gimmick. If you're having trouble and you want to talk to somebody, I've been talking to people for 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes at a time, making sure people have what they need to make sure that they're unstoppable through this time. All right. I love you guys. Bishal, I will see you later on. And for the rest of you guys, have a kick-ass day.